I'm Cheree Ramirez, the host of Community Unity by Children's Services Council of Martin County, located at the 10th Street Studio. We're at the 10th Street Studio in Stuart, Florida, at the 10th Street Community Center, and we are here for the Community Unity vlog, and I am here sitting across from the one and the only Rob Ranieri. Can you tell me who you're with?
Sure. Rob Ranieri, CEO for House of Hope.
And let's just say, Rob, you do a lot more than just being the CEO for House of Hope. You're involved in many different initiatives in this community, and I just want to say thank you for the hard work and everything that you do. But we're here today for the Community Unity vlog, where I get to sit down with the CEOs and those who are participating in the programs to give the listeners and the viewers a little overview of what is available to them, why you do the work that you do, and how they can get involved. So let's just start with, who's Rob Ranieri? What makes your heart beat, and what makes you do the work that you do?
So I think House of Hope, we have an opportunity to really create a lot of programs and develop resources that, as our mission says, empower residents to overcome hunger and hardship. So I get to work every day with amazing people, the staff at House of Hope, the volunteers, the partners, the funders. Everybody just has big hearts and big ideas, and we're able to kind of put them into action and make a difference.
How long have you been in the CEO role at House of Hope?
It was 9 years last week.
9 years last week? Wow, have we known each other that long?
I guess so.
Oh, wow. I mean, I met you when I was going through Martin County leadership. I believe that was the first time that I met you, and I was so interested in your programming. And since then, I've seen you just continue to grow and expand throughout the community with programs that you guys offer to your different locations. So tell me a little bit about the heart and the mission behind it, because you came from a business for-profit organization. So what made you want to switch over to nonprofit world?
So I was actually volunteering for House of Hope, trying to help my predecessor, Elizabeth Barbella, get the county to allow House of Hope to use the Golden Gate building and turn it into an enrichment center. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the work that I had done in the for-profit side was government relations and working with the county on different projects, so had a lot of good relationships, and I was just helping with that process. And then Elizabeth called me one day, told me she was leaving, and told me that she had recommended her board talk to me about the position, and I kind of just laughed. But after thinking about it, my background in business and my contacts in the community, and I've been a governor's appointee to Children's Services Council. I've served on a whole bunch of different local boards for nonprofits. A lot of the nonprofits I was doing pro bono public relations and communications work for. So when I kind of thought about it, I saw I had a lot of things that hopefully would lead to success for me and success for the organization. And fortunately, it's worked out pretty good so far.
So far, you've really knocked it out of the park, I think. And it's really wonderful to see that the Golden Gate building is kind of what started you working with House of Hope, because you were able to get it designated as a historical site, and it is now an enrichment center.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of things in that building. The Let's Start Learning programs.
Just one of them.
Yeah, one of them, probably the most fun one, honestly. We've got 15 kids, 2, 3, and 4-year-olds, that without that would start so far behind their classmates when they hit kindergarten. These are mostly kids that, for different reasons, might be transportation or trust or cultural challenges and obstacles that keep families from connecting to the free early learning. So those kids would really be home, kind of just watching TV or whatever with mom or whoever's taking care of them. So this gives them an opportunity to develop, academically, socially, behaviorally.
I had the privilege of being able to go and witness one of the classes, and the kids were just so sweet and so inviting. And your teacher that you have over there, she was very engaged with the kids. The parents were engaged with the kids, and they had different stations throughout the hour that I was there. And it was just really great to see they had a reading time, and they had some bilingual options as well, which we love being able to service those families as well who English might not be their first language.
Yep. So it's it's a unique program in that a parent or guardian comes with the child. So the teacher spends time with the kids, obviously trying to help them grow and learn and develop, and then we'll provide different resources for the parents at the same time. So everybody's learning. So it might be, fire safety at home, or dental health care, or whatever, different topics. So those parents are better
Equipped.
equipped. It's a good, perfect word to just be better, stronger parents for their kids and help them reach family goals and personal goals.
Well, parents are the first teacher of their children. So if we're able to teach the parents how to be that healthy, happy parent that's engaged with the child, that seems to be a consistent topic that is brought up throughout any of the interviews that I've done and any conversations that I've had with the parents being the child's first teacher.
As we've kind of gotten deeper into the education side of things with our programming, we've learned a lot too. So we're much better equipped to administer the program. We're using an evidence-based curriculum, pre- and post-testing the kids so we can track the knowledge gain and improvements. So it's really valuable that way. Every child that's in the program, we set them up with a home library, so they have a whole bunch of books at home. Again, just ways to connect them to literacy and education.
Do you introduce them to free resources like from the library system, like the Dolly Parton Imagination Library and those resources as
well?
So
all our kids are signed up for Dolly Parton, which is really a great program.
Yeah.
We have a great partnership with the library, so we can actually give out library cards. So first time we did that, we thought we were like the coolest people.
I mean, that is pretty cool.
It is, right? That's what I thought. And we get with our thrift stores, probably books and clothes are the largest volume items donated, and we couldn't possibly sell all the books we get. So we give books away in our pantries through this program. We share them with teachers.
And through the little libraries.
Yep, little libraries, Kiwanis Club, 4Cs. Like, we just give books to everybody that we know can get them into the hands of kids or adults.
Early childhood literacy is so important, especially in our county right now. We definitely see a deficit in the third grade level reading, and we know that the statistics with that, if they're not on level, it makes it a lot more difficult for them to be successful in life later on.
One of the most jarring statistics that we learned, and this is one of the reasons I think we're doing more in education, is third grade reading level is actually one of the factors that the state government uses to determine when and where to build prisons.
So the size of the prisons.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. So, that's an issue that everybody should be working on as a community.
Yeah, so thank you for your partnership with Martin Reed's, because I know that you've been an advocate for that, and as we're continuing to ramp that up, Kiana Kelly, I'm sure she'll be on here as a future guest. But I wanted to go over the programs, because we have 4 different funding priorities: healthy children, safe, stable communities, strong, nurturing families, and success in school and life. You're in 3 of them. So let me get an overview about the programs that you have in place right now. We've kind of touched on some of them, but can you give me a little bit more detail about the Gardening to Grow?
Sure. That actually started with a partnership grant with Children's Services Council. So it was really a development program. We had an idea. CSC liked it. They helped us get it off the ground. And I think our first year, it was less than 100 people. I think it was to kind of see if the community would be interested, how it would function, and the concept of it really is all around healthy habits, nutrition education, kids and families were the focus, and still are the focus. And the program has just grown exponentially to the point where our year that we're in right now will probably reach over 7,000 people with nutrition
Wow, and
education.
it started with 100.
Yeah, so we have 4 in-ground gardens now that we use for education. We have a traveling garden. The traveling garden this year was I believe we hit every public elementary school, a whole bunch of the private schools, after-school programs. We have formalized education programs. It's like an 8-week class that we do for every student at Hope Rural School in Indiantown.
Where do those classes take place? At Hope
At
Rural?
Hope Rural.
Oh, wow.
And then our teacher goes on site and does them there once a week. We do the same thing at both YMCAs and at the Banner Lake Club in Hope Sound.
Yep.
So,
And I know you have those community gardens throughout Martin County, and I know we have one just right up on 10th Street. So I drive past it every single time I'm coming into the studio, and I see our sign really big.
Yeah. So yeah, the gardens are a good base for that. Like we get some food out of them for our pantries, but that's not really the purpose. It's really about community and education, and they've been a good spot for us to kind of launch from and connect to the communities with the programs that we have.
That's great. So on that point of gardening, I know that you have your own garden for the food that you give out at your food pantries. So can you tell me a little bit more about how much that has grown? Because I've been there a couple different times since the beginning, and wow, I mean, hydroponics alone, what you have out there.
Yeah.
So can you expound on that?
Yeah, so Growing Hope Farm in Pump City, we are on the same property as Pump City Farms Produce Market. The Dawson family has been absolutely amazing partners for us. Basically, they came to us and said, "Hey, we have all this land. Could you use it?" So,
Of course.
yeah. So we're out there for basically no cost, and we've been every year been able to add on to the size of the farm. So now we have 4 greenhouses, about 92,000 cubic feet of greenhouse space, all hydroponic growing in the houses. We have a grove of about 70 fruit trees. In fact, we're probably going to harvest our first mangoes in the next week or so we're pretty excited.
Okay.
And then we, a couple weeks ago, cut the ribbon on our packing house. So all the food that we grow, that we glean, so all the big commercial farms from like January till May let us go out there and pick their fields clean when they're done. So we go out with volunteers and do that. So all of that food and a lot of the food that's donated from some of our larger partners like Farm Share that comes unpackaged. So that all goes through the packing house, gets cleaned, packaged, labeled. So it's a really great resource for us to just keep things fresh and look professional and give out good product.
Now, everyone who works at the packing house, are they volunteers or are they paid staff?
So we have 2 full-time paid staff at the farm, and then everybody else out there are volunteers. And then Dave, who oversees like our whole food universe. So he's at the farm sometimes. He's also over our distribution, our commercial kitchen, our warehousing. So he's got a lot of different hats on the food side of things. So we couldn't do it without volunteers.
Then now that I'm curious, how many volunteer hours do you think that House of Hope has given throughout the past year? Like how many volunteer hours?
So it's amazing. Like we have, I believe it's over 800 volunteers, and it's probably in the high 30s, like 38,000 hours. It equals like 20 people.
Wow.
So we couldn't do the work we do without that. And they're everywhere. They're at the farm, in our gardens, in our offices, in our kitchen, in our pantries, in the thrift stores. Again, we could not do the work we do without that support. It's really amazing.
That's fantastic. I know that CSC had the privilege of coming out to the farm and both over to the pantry to help volunteer and, pack food and do certain things throughout the past couple years. And me personally, I have always enjoyed coming to volunteer with you and bringing my daughter when we're packing backpacks and Stamp Out Hunger. We just finished with that. How much food, let's segue into that, how much food did you receive from Martin County residents this past year for Stamp Out Hunger? And will you tell me a little bit about that program?
Sure. So it's a great program. It's a nationwide program by the National Association of Letter Carriers, and it's a one-day event every May. It is the largest one-day food collection event in the world, I believe.
Wow. Is it just in the U.S. or?
Just in the U.S. And so in Martin County, we're the beneficiary. So everything that the letter carriers pick up comes back to us. It was about 65,000 pounds of food this year in that one day. It was the Saturday before Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So great Mother's Day present is come on out and pack food and unpack postal cards and load up bins. But we get a lot of volunteer support that day as well. And that food comes at a great time because summer we see a spike in need.
Yeah.
A lot of seasonality still to employment and kids that normally would be in school and get free and
breakfast, lunch.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're missing those. And even with the programming that the school district does, it's still every child can't access it. So there's gaps.
Yeah.
So that extra food really helps us keep families kind of solid throughout the summer.
And one of the things that I love about your pantries is that you set them up like grocery stores so that the families who go in can maintain their dignity and shopping and going through the aisles in their carts and letting the kids pick the food that they want, because you do get such a great amount of food from your donations and options that that's something that I truly feel as like a mom and as a community member that's wonderful that you can help those families maintain their dignity.
Yeah, we want it to feel normal. Like if a mom comes in there with her kids, they go pick out their cereal and their snack just like you probably did when you were a kid. Like no stigma, nothing different. At the end, and we have checkouts just like the stores, but we're not collecting money, we're collecting weight. So we know by food category how much each of our pantries is using, and we can try to get foods that our clients want to eat, not that they have no choice but to eat.
So we have our annual report that just came out for 2022-2023, and if you're interested in receiving an annual report, you can send me an email, and that is going to be in the description notes. But you this year are a program to watch with your family-centered coaching Project Hope initiative. Can you tell me about that program and the excitement that is behind it and the purpose and where you're hoping to help these families gain their own self-sufficiency?
Sure. So it's a great opportunity. CSC funded our trainings for our entire staff. So every House of Hope employee and some CSC employees as well went through an initial round of training over several months to sort of get exposed to family-centered coaching. The concept of family-centered coaching is individuals and families that are ready to sort of move away from case management, where the case manager sort of provides a lot of the answers and helps to create the roadmap and the plan to success, versus coaching where you're there to support, but the individual or the family unit are the ones making their plan and setting their goals and creating their timelines. So it's when a household is really ready for that next step and and move towards independence and sustainability. And so
I love that.
Yeah, so the like I said, our whole organization went through the training, and then as it continued, the group got smaller and smaller. So it was predominantly at the end our case management team getting deeper dive training on this, and it focuses on like interview techniques. So when we're talking to a client, we're asking the right questions to learn everything we can to help them problem solve. And so it's a lot of that. It's a lot of talk about like the fiscal cliff. Like a lot of families
Yep.
get to a point
Bridges out of
where,
poverty.
yeah, where if they take that next step in their own kind of economic growth of the household, they lose a whole bunch of benefits. And so some families don't take the step because that raise is not enough to pay for the loss of childcare and health insurance and SNAP and other benefits, So
And I know there's a lot of families in Martin County that are currently experiencing that situation. Can you tell me a little bit about the Alice population? Because
Sure.
that's kind of where we're at with this,
Yep.
right?
So Alice is Martin County United Way locally talks a lot about Alice. It's a United Way term nationwide. It's asset limited, income challenged, but employed. And so it's really those people living check to check. So one unexpected, medical issue or car expense could really send them spiraling downward. And so,
isn't it 44% of Martin County families are either in the Alice population or already experiencing poverty?
yes. So it's almost half our population now that's living that struggle. So it's definitely real in our community. And so coaching is a great means to hopefully help people continue to elevate and move beyond that. Through our array of programs and services, we could creatively find ways, hopefully, to help them with some of those fiscal cliff challenges, replace, so if we, for example, provide food, well, that's about a $450 a month benefit.
As we both know, the cost of living has risen, but the salaries have potentially stayed the same and have kind of forced middle-class families into this Alice population. One of the great things about having that food pantry and, as you said, being able to help alleviate that $450 bill at the end of the month, so they can put it towards child care, so they can put it towards their house or their living situation. I know that you're a huge advocate right now for living and having the ability for families in Martin County to be able to even rent or or build. Can you tell me a little bit? I know this is a little bit off topic from House of Hope, but can you tell me a little bit about what you're working on right now with the housing development?
Sure. So lots of things, actually. House of Hope has a housing committee. It's a couple of other nonprofits, funders, a lot of professionals in the development world, so planners, traffic experts, builders, and we're really kind of looking at a wide range of solutions. We also have several elected officials, so Commissioner Campy is on our committee representing the county. We have Commissioner Rich from the city, and we have Commissioner Lee Roberts from the school board. So we're really trying to get
also sits on the CSC Council. Sorry.
So we're trying to get everybody's input and feedback to talk about where are the obstacles. So sometimes it might be things that are in county code that could be improved to sort of facilitate or make it easier to build true affordable housing for like earners 50,000 or less is kind of what we've been focused on. And then we're looking at other opportunities throughout the community, other ways to sort of create things. So the use of tiny homes or container homes, which are really limited and in some cases not allowed at all in Martin County. So just different things like that can sort of change the landscape and create more housing options for lower wage earners. And then I also sit on the board of a new nonprofit. It's Martin County Community Land Trust. And so what the land trust model is the land trust owns land. Clients build a house on that land, so it takes the cost of the land out of the equation. So it makes home ownership more realistic. So their mortgage would be less because they're building on land that's already ready to go. So that model works really well all over the country. So we're excited to bring it to Martin County and create another pathway to home ownership and kind of ease the financial burden of some of the people that need that support as well. And I think that's exciting. And you'll hear a lot more about the land trust over the coming probably 12 months because
Yeah.
we're like brand new. We just got our 501 about a month ago. So that's going to be a good resource for the community. And I think that'll change some things for housing as well. And then House of Hope and me personally, we're also partnering with a company called Green Mills. So they build affordable housing developments all over the state. I think they have 19 of them now. And they're larger scale. So it's basically apartment buildings. So it's rentals. What they have proposed, they sent a proposal to the City of Stuart for a piece of land they have to put 130 apartments on a parcel of land.
Yep.
True affordable housing. So again, geared towards that under $50,000 earner, and the rent is based on the income. So an apartment might cost somebody making $40,000+ a month. That same apartment for a fixed income senior might be $400 a month. So their model has been successful all over the state. They get some support through state and federal grants to build these, which is how they can rent them so affordably. And it keeps it affordable. Like in this case, it's a 50-year model. So
now, where would somebody go to be able to see the potential site plan and to learn more about this opportunity?
So it'll probably be coming back to the City Commission like late August, early September.
Okay.
They've been doing some public meetings, too, to get like feedback from the community. So there's one coming up in July that will be here at the 10th Street Rec Center, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I forget if it's July 8th or 9th, but that's coming. So that'll be a way for the public to hear about it and, again, to give some feedback. And they want to build, things that make sense for the community. They want to fit with the community. So, this model, what they want to do with this program is workforce. So they're really kind of focused on lower wage earners and giving them a safe place to live. And their projects, if you look at their website, again, it's the Green Mills Group. They've built some amazing projects across the state where they really are strong.
Making a difference in the lives of the people who need the workforce living.
And they look like
they're nice.
High end. Yeah, they're gorgeous. They're really spacious apartments, great amenities. Part of what House of Hope would do with Green Mills is bring some programming right on site. So, financial planning classes, nutrition education classes, things like that we could do right in the community for those residents. So it really tries to create a good solution, but also still provide ways that people can continue to evolve and improve as a family and as an individual.
And maintain that dignity.
Yep, exactly.
So I think that's wonderful, and I love the idea and the plans behind it, and your programming that you're going to do with these families, because I know that you do these programs currently at the Golden Gate Building as well, where you're helping people find jobs and you're workforce coaching and making a difference that way as well. Can you go into more detail about some of that programming?
Sure. So we have a full-time career coordinator on staff. So she works one-on-one with people, and it might be resume writing, interview skills, just helping them navigate how to find a job. A lot of people returning to the workforce, think that they're going to pull out the want ads through the paper or whatever.
Nope,
and that's just
not anymore.
Yeah, so it's a lot of that kind of work. And then she'll also do a lot of group trainings. So we'll do, groups of people that she'll do an interview skills class with, for example, or a resume writing class. And then we work with some of our colleagues as well in the nonprofit world. Like we're just starting some programming with Mary's Home for the ladies that are in that shelter, where we can provide career coaching and counseling to them.
That's wonderful.
And like everything we do, all of that's always at no cost. So that makes a big difference. And then we also are seeing more employers connecting to us because they know that we have these resources. And so they're sending us job descriptions and saying, hey, got anybody that would be a good fit for this job or that job. So we've become sort of like a de facto employment service. So we can connect some of our clients right into living wage job opportunities and kind of coach them up and get them ready for the interview and all that. And then through our thrift stores, we have a Dress for Success program. So if someone doesn't have the right clothing to get out there and get into interview mode, we can give them, 5 outfits and say, here you go. So they have
Yeah, that's
something to put on
wonderful.
every day of the week and look the part. And then if they get the job and they need specific kinds of clothes, we can load up their wardrobe again and kind of get them ready for their new opportunity.
I know whenever I donate clothes, I always go to House of Hope, or anything really. I go to House of Hope for donations. So Donna Vistal over there is wonderful, and you guys have always done a tree for the Festival of Tree of Lights. I've never won it yet, but do you guys plan on entering this year?
Oh yeah, yeah. We like to be a part of that, and in the past, supported Tykes and Teens, and they're a great partner for us. And so, we really try to look for ways to be a valuable partner to the agencies we work with, and to do things that are meaningful for the community. And so this year, it's a little bit different model the way they're going to do that event, but House of Hope absolutely will be there again.
I
with
know
the tree.
that the Children's Museum is going to be taking that over. Anne had talked about that when she was here a few weeks ago. On that point, for collaborations and the organizations that you work with, can you tell me a little bit about some of those collaborations? Because community unity is what it's all about, and we're all in this together. And if we can come together and make the world a brighter place, our Martin County and our world a brighter place, then why not? So I would love to hear some of those collaborations that you work with.
Sure. So lots of different ways that we collaborate and partner with the community and with other nonprofits. I mentioned our housing committee, so we've got a couple of other nonprofits that sit on that. The Pump City Chamber is part of that. The Community Foundation Martin St. Lucie is part of that. Habitat for Humanity is part of that. And then on the program side, so we have our 3 enrichment centers, Golden Gate, the Kindu Center out in Indiantown, and we have an enrichment center in our facility in Jensen Beach. So a lot of partner agencies provide their programs through our enrichment centers. And then, like everything again, no cost. So any agency or partner can run programs there. We work with them to set the schedule. We don't charge them fees, and we ask that they waive any fees so that way everyone can truly access it, and it takes away barriers and obstacles. So we do some things like smoking cessation, for example, where we're working with the Tobacco-Free Partnership, and we've had that program since we opened the Golden Gate building.
Yeah.
They do amazing work, really helping people to quit and not look back. So that's really important from a health standpoint and from an economic standpoint. We do English as a second language in our classes, in our enrichment centers, rather. So a range of different programs and different partners that participate there. We work closely with the library, with the health department, with the Early Learning Coalition, all through those centers. On the food side, we've got probably 30, we're a food bank on top of food pantries. So we've got about 30 or so agencies that we provide food to for their programs, all at no cost. So
Well, that's amazing. I know. One of the partnerships is with Martin County Healthy Start Coalition, where you're able to help provide formula and diapers even at some point. So that's another wonderful connection with another agency that is funded with CSC dollars. So
we've got a whole bunch of stuff waiting for them to pick up. We have teething cookies, formula, diapers, baby food.
And they have their Mom-mobile that is going to be launching, today is their ribbon cutting?
Tonight. Yep.
So that is super exciting. We have so many organizations and agencies that truly care and want to make a difference in our community. And I just, being a part of Children's Services Council has really given me the opportunity to see what we have, the resources that we have. And that's why I take my job so personally, is because I want to make sure that viewers here in Martin County who are watching will share this information so that they can have these conversations with the families who are experiencing poverty, who are experiencing a need for, housing tips and workforce tips. And yeah, I mean, you're kind of a one-stop shop for a lot of things. Before we end this episode, will you tell me where people can find your resources and where they can go and volunteer?
Sure. So our website, hohmartin.org, has a ton of information about our programs and services. So if you know somebody that needs support, all of the answers are there. If you want to give help somehow, so if you want to become a donor or a partner or a volunteer, that's the place as well, hohmartin.org. And there's a whole volunteer section that outlines all of the different opportunities for volunteers to get connected with us. We're always looking, especially summertime. We lose a lot of our retirees who travel a bit in the summer, or our snowbirds. So we get a lot of great support from
the high schools.
High
It's
school
a
kids,
perfect
yep.
opportunity
So
for them.
they get their hours in this summer, usually in air conditioning. So
I
they
know,
like
I'm
that.
bringing my daughter.
But yeah, so always looking for that kind of support. And like I said earlier, I mean, that makes the difference for us between success and not, with that extra bunch of hands that come in all year long to help us get our programs
Of course.
to the level that they need to be.
I mean, from what we've seen, your numbers have grown exponentially and have kind of blown everything that you have set for goals out of the water, right? So.
Oh, yeah. Well, COVID changed everything as far as volume, and, it's never going to go back. So we used to reach about 4,500 or so people a month before COVID. Now we're about 21,000 people a month. And
Wow.
So it's a huge change. Our food resources, our food bank resources are going multi-county now. So we're providing food to Okeechobee County, St. Lucie County, as well as all across Martin. Just about every soup kitchen in town is serving fresh salads with their meals, and that's coming through from our production farm out in Palm City.
Keeping things healthy.
Yeah. Well,
That education, that nutrition.
That's a big piece of it. If we can get people healthy, a lot of times things just fall into place.
And you have, every program that you have has like a full circle back to an individual bridging out of poverty and building their health and their self-sufficiency. And I think that's just absolutely wonderful. One thing before we end, I forgot to mention the events that you have throughout the year. I know you have many events, and these are great opportunities for fundraisers. Are you guys ever looking for sponsors? How does that go?
Yeah, always. So our next big event is November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and it's our Serve Some Hope annual event. So it's tennis and pickleball.
Great.
Out at Harbor Ridge Country Club. So it's probably going to go up on our website. Like, it might already be up. We just got our dates this week, so we're excited to be able to have that again. Harbor Ridge hosts us every year for probably the past 4 or 5 years, and they have brand new pickleball courts that are amazing. We do our Top Chef event. That's usually a spring event at the district table. Mm-hmm. So I think we actually have a date for that one, and we'll probably start recruiting chefs in a couple of months to get them geared up for that. And then we do our soiree, and that's a winter event. So that's going to be probably January or February, and that's like a
How many
gala.
years did you celebrate last soiree? Was it 40?
Yeah, this is our 40th anniversary year, so it's pretty exciting for us to have been around that long.
That's amazing. And House of Hope is lucky to have you, Rob. Martin County is lucky to have you with
Thank you.
all your additional, initiatives that you're working on right now. So I just want to say thank you to all the hard work that you do and being so mission-filled and having the heart that you do, because we couldn't do it without community leaders and partners like you, and we're grateful to have programs that really meet the needs of the families here in Martin County. And thank you to the Martin County homeowners for your continued support for over 35 years. Because of you, we're able to support organizations and fund organizations like House of Hope. So you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next episode.
All right, thanks.
Thanks. Thank you for listening to Community Unity. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Share our information with friends and family to help spread the information on life-changing programs funded by CSCMC, made possible by the homeowners of Martin County.